Hello everyone, I'm Mohsen from Microsoft Zero to Hero. We have another interesting session about the AI, and actually we had a great week from Microsoft Build. Before to jump to CR about start the presentation about the OpenAI, let me share my slide. Yeah. Today we have CR. CR wants to talk about the Azure Open AI. Actually, the topic is very interesting. And before that, we talked with CR on the backstage. I think we have another great session about the Open AI. Let me introduce Microsoft Learn Community. As you know, the Microsoft Learn Community is a collection of the content of learn about the Microsoft technology, cloud platform, data solution, or other things. You can join the Microsoft Learn Community and use a lot of content from the aka.ms Microsoft Learn Community. You can join to Microsoft Learn. And if you have any question, you can ask Learn expert or other people. We had the Microsoft Week. Actually, the Cloud Ski Challenge is up. You can register and have a chance to give a Microsoft certificate exam voucher. And the last slide is our code of contact. To be aware of other, be friendly and patient, be welcoming and respectful, be open to all questions and viewpoints, be understanding of difference, and finally be kind and considerate to others in the comments, in the chat, or so on. Let me add CR to a stage. Hello, CR. How are
Hi,
you?
Vasan. Fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm so excited about your topic, your session, and yes, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mosan. Hope my screen is visible now.
Yeah, I added your screen to stage.
Okay,
It's
great.
clear.
Yeah. So the topic for today would be like Azure OpenAI, the quantum leap in Power Platform potential, wherein we would be seeing what does this Azure OpenAI mean and how can this be connected with the Power Platform is something that what we would be seeing for today. And before we go into the session, let me give a brief introduction of myself. I am CR Bhargavi, working as a senior software engineer for Ford, and I am a Microsoft MVP and Microsoft certified trainer too. And apart from that, I am a C Sharp Corner MVP, and I do write blogs and articles which are published under the C Sharp Corner, and because of that, I was awarded as C Sharp Corner MVP, and I am a global speaker, and I do speak in many communities around the globe. So this is my LinkedIn ID. Please feel free to get in touch with me post the session as well. I would be happy to help you post the session. So the agenda for today's session would be like we would be seeing what is Power Platform, and then we would also be seeing what does this Power Automate do, and then we would be seeing on a brief of about what does this Azure OpenAI mean, and why do we need Azure OpenAI with Power Automate is something that what we would be seeing, and then we would also be seeing sorry how to connect the Azure OpenAI with Power Platform, and we would be seeing the demo, and I would be taking up the question and answer at the last. So we had been speaking about the AI part inside the Microsoft, right? So we have many AI tools which are available right now under the AI portfolio of Microsoft. And one such tool which is now becoming a very famous one is called as the Azure OpenAI service. Like Let me explain what does this Azure AI services all do and what it can be extended with as well. Like when we are a developer and data scientist, then we have a different kind of services which are available, like vision, speech, language, decision, and OpenAI. And these are some of the Azure OpenAI services which are available, and these all come under the cognitive services which are there, and there are different kind of AI services which are there. So that can be part of like bot service and then cognitive search, form recognizer. So there are different kind of services which are available, and one such service of Azure OpenAI is one such service which is under the Azure AI, and what it can do is like, since the developer and data scientist is all about the open AI which are there, like artificial intelligence side will be mostly done by the developers and scientists, right? So to make it extended with the business users and the citizen developers, what Microsoft had did is like it can be extended to the business users and citizen developers as well, with the help of either Microsoft 365 or Dynamic 365, or with Xbox, and then with using Bing or Windows, or that can be of anything. So how can you do that is something that what we have to think of. This can be done with either by developing an application the which is by the Power Apps, or you can use it for visualizing a tool, which is by using the Power BI, or you can automate the process with the help of Power Automate, or you can have a virtual assistant kind of thing with the help of Power Virtual Agent, which is now in the form of Copilot Studio. So all these together had been put and they have been combined together, and Azure OpenAI can be integrated with all these things, and they can be used for extending for for all kind of developers, data scientists, business users, and citizen developer. So this is the overall portfolio that the Microsoft has. And we why does this Azure OpenAI service is needed, or to put in other words, what does this Azure OpenAI service mean? So, Azure OpenAI service is like a pre-trained models which are available, like the models which will be having a training which had happened earlier, and that model can be customized for your own needs, and you can go ahead and implement the responsible AI as well inside it, and it ensures that it would be providing an enterprise grade security. So wherein when you compare it with some other GPT tools which are available, what happens inside the Azure OpenAI is something like, your data, that whatever you are giving it, will not be used for processing the data which are there, like the model which is there. So this is a enterprise level great safety which had been assured by Microsoft, and you can go ahead and implement the models whichever you need and go ahead and process it. So this is all about the Azure OpenAI service. Maybe we would see in deep of the Azure OpenAI service. What does it mean in the upcoming slides, so that you can understand it more better. So what does this Azure OpenAI offer is like, it is used for content generation. Content generation in terms of like when you want some content to be generated from the Azure OpenAI. So what does it do is like, it would be generating the content of whatever you need. Or when you want it to be acted as a virtual assistant or chatbot, then in that case as well it would be giving you back as a result of chatbot and virtual assistant. Or when you wanted to be acted as an translator, say in case when you wanted to be having in French and you want to change it in English, then or your text has to be in specific style or tone, then that particular thing can be used as a translation into the model which has been already there inside the Azure OpenAI. And from there, I'm sorry, and from there we can go ahead and use the model with that. Or when we have the text summarization, say in case when we have long data or long kind of text which are there, and from that text we have to extract few details alone, like the keywords has to be extracted from it. Or say in case we have a big kind of essay, and from that we have to just summarize on it, like we have to just understand it within a minute. Then if we go ahead and give to Azure OpenAI, then it would be automatically summarizing the long articles or documents which are there and will be putting you up with the shorter form. And then, like sentiment analysis plays a major part when it comes for Azure OpenAI. Say in case like the sentiment analysis for analyzing the sentiments which are there, like when you want your sentiment has to be analyzed from your customer, and from that you can have the feedback being used for your own development, then the Azure OpenAI will be helping you at a better level. And from there you can go ahead and use the sentiment analysis too. And the architecture which are there for retrieving the data is like, what does this do when it's been connected to the architecture is like, you will have a client, say in case you will be ingesting the job which are needed. And when that job is being put into the Azure OpenAI, like the data that what you want will be given to the, sorry, the data that what you want will be given to the Azure OpenAI, and the Azure OpenAI will be searching for the results which are there from the Azure AI search. And from there it would be like, whether the data will be stored in the form of blob storage or any kind of data that are there, like the data which will be in the form of like the indexes or the triggers or the data sources that can be of any form, and that would be stored under the blob storage or the different kind of storage which are there. And that data will be then ingested with the Azure AI search, and from there you would be hitting up with the results back again to the Azure OpenAI. And from there it would be returning you back to the client, like the client would be giving you the result of will be giving you the prompt of whatever he needs. Say in case of a scenario like, he needs a translation of hello in French, so that's where the client put in. And from there what happens is like, it would be taken as an ingestion job, and that would be hitting up the Azure OpenAI, wherein it would have been trained with the model. So that would be taking up the data sources, triggers, and everything that it has been trained on. And with the help of the Azure OpenAI search on what data it has been given on, it would be looking for the data that whatever it's used on, and it would be giving back the result on whatever it needs to the Azure OpenAI search. With the help of the Azure OpenAI search, it would be giving you back to the model, and that model would be giving you back the result to the client. So, this is the overall architecture of Azure OpenAI to retrieve the data which are there. So, now we had saw what would be the architecture of the Azure OpenAI as a whole. Now that we would be seeing what does this architecture used for connecting the different kind of platforms which are there. Say in case you have an application UX wherein you would be having the monitor or any kind of UX that are there, right? So from there, what would happen is like it would be hitting up the orchestrator or app server, wherein you would be having the different kind of servers which are available, and from there it would be running up the Azure cognitive search. So to make sure that the Azure OpenAI is being running, your cognitive search should also be created. Like whenever you create in the Azure OpenAI resource as a whole, then it would be creating you back with the result of the Azure cognitive search as well, and wherein the query will be taken as the knowledge, and the prompt and the knowledge together will be given you back with the response with the help of the Azure OpenAI, with the help of the data sources which it has been trained on. Like when you want to bring in your own data, like consider a case you are running a bank kind of thing, and that bank kind of information should not get out to your other clients, is something that what you are trying to focus on. For which what you would be doing is like you would be having a separate knowledge base being loaded for it, and that separate knowledge base will not be kind of shared with other other datas or with other clients which are there. And the most important point is like you would be training on what the chatbot or what the virtual assistant has to reply back when the Azure OpenAI model is being used, as something that what you would be training on with the help of the data sources which are there. And that data sources can be of like Word, Notepad, and then SQL, or it can be directly from the web as well, and that can be from your external website, or that can be of any sort, like the data which comes in to the cognitive search, and from there it would be searching for that particular keyword, and that would be returning you back with the result of it. So this is the overall architecture of the Azure OpenAI on how does it work. So it's the same use case that we are about to see here. Like you have a different kind of scenario. Say in case you need a PPT and a PDF to be uploaded inside the Power Plat. Like it has to be uploaded inside the cognitive search, for which you are using an Power Automate to upload the files. So this is where the Power Automate comes in, and this can be done with the help of the Azure Blob Storage, wherein you would be hitting up the data which are being collected, and the uploaded files will be upload like the files will be got from the Power Automate and will be used for the Azure Blob Storage, and that will be used for the cognitive search which are there. And what happens is like whenever the chat comes in, like the prompt comes in, it would be hitting up the web app, like the chat is being enabled inside a web app, and that web app would be calling up the Azure OpenAI along with the models which are there. So what would it happen? So the prompt, like say in a case of same scenario, you are trying to convert bonjour of French to English. So that would be the chat that what you give in here inside the chat, and that would be hitting up the web app, and from that web app it would be calling up the Azure OpenAI here, and from that Azure OpenAI it would be calling up the search service, like what would be the meaning of bonjour when it comes in English. It's something that what it would be searching on with all the data that it has been loaded on, like whether it can be from the PDF or whether it can be from the PPT or the different kind of uh, data that whatever we had fed on. So it would be looking for all those data and it would be giving you back with the result for it. So when it's all done, it would be returning you back with the result of it. So this is one such scenario that what I had taken for just an understanding of Azure OpenAI on how does it work. So we had been seeing what does this Azure OpenAI and why do we need Azure OpenAI? So all these things, and now we would see how can we get Azure OpenAI access. It's so simple. Like you have to have an Azure portal access. And once you had got an Azure portal access, you should be having a subscription also with it, right? So once you are done with all those, you would be registering it here. Like you would get back uh, to the URL which has been mentioned here. And once you had been given an access, for now at least you have to register it, and your registration has to go for an approval. And then once you are given the access, then you would be allocated with the Azure OpenAI service or access as well. And post that you can go ahead and use the Azure OpenAI, for which what we have to do is like you have to register it here with your office email ID, um, and verification would be uh, sent to your office ID. And once that's done, you would be creating an instance in Azure portal. And once the instance has been created, you would be navigating to the different studio as such, which is called as a Azure OpenAI Studio, wherein you can navigate it from here as well. Like oai.azure.com is something that where we would be navigating once we had created an instance in Azure. The notable point is that for whatever the portal that what you have for Azure portal for subscription is the same account that what you should have an Azure OpenAI service as well. If the Azure OpenAI service is depending on different account, and your subscription is on different account, then it's of no use. Like you cannot go ahead and use that particular resource over there. And how do you train the model inside the Azure OpenAI is something that's so interesting. Like you would be going on to the build page, and from there you would be drafting on the models whichever you need. Say in case until DALI as well, the Azure OpenAI service has the has the way of being like it's been available over there, and from which you can go ahead and use the model that whatever you need based on your subscription limit. There is a limit which has been available, which will be based on your token, which whatever you are trying to consume on. And once that's done, you would be taking up the model with the help of the draft model, right? So once that is also done, you would be training your model. Say in case when you want to perform from your own data, then you would be going ahead and training the model with the help of the data that what you want to learn. And and then once it is all done, the training and everything is being done, you would be publishing the model, like that can be published to either Power Apps or Power Automate with the help of the URL that what you have. You can go ahead and use that, from which we can go ahead and track the model of whatever we need, like the URL which has been generated with the help of the Azure OpenAI plays a major key. And from there, you can go ahead and integrate the URL along with the keys and many things over there, and from which we can go ahead and implement that. So, we had been seeing about connecting it along with Power Automate or Power Apps, right? So, how do we do that? It's all possible with the help of something called as connectors, which has been available under the Power Automate or Power Apps or Power Platform as a whole. So, what does this connectors do is like it's some built-in connectivity which has been available to the cloud services, files, databases, web APIs, etc., using the public connectors which are available. Say in case you need to connect it with the help of Teams, or you have to connect it with Outlook, or you have to connect it with Gmail, or any kind of connectors that whatever you need, like from the Xbox till the LinkedIn, and uh, from the SharePoint to the Twitter as well. Many kind of connectors which are available under the Power Platform, like over the 1,000 published connectors which are available. So that from there you can go ahead and use the connectors, and from there we can get it connected for the credentials which are needed for connecting the database, web APIs, or any kind of tools which are there for us. So, how do you connect the Azure OpenAI along with the Power Automate? So, Power Automate is something, a tool which has been under the Power Platform, and which is used for building up the applications like robotic process automations, or the DPAs, which is like digital process automations. So that is used for building up the solutions of that sort. Azure OpenAI is something of like the artificial intelligence side, wherein we would be working on with the models and everything over there. So how do you connect the Azure OpenAI along with the Power Automate is something very interesting. Like what you would be doing it as a first step is like you would be creating an instance in the Azure OpenAI service, which will be available under the Azure OpenAI portal. And from there, you would be hitting up the Azure OpenAI Studio, and then you would be creating a flow from the Power Apps, or like say in case you have to upload few files, or you have to build in the flow over there, then you would be building it with the help of Power Apps, or you would be directly creating an workflow inside the Power Automate as a whole, and you would be adding in the URL that whatever the Azure OpenAI service is available with, and from that URL you would be integrating the workflow and all other things being available, and with the help of the http post method you would be connecting the solution, and you would be testing the solution and deploying the solution. This is something that what we would be seeing in our demo for today. So even if you don't understand all those things at this moment, then I would appreciate you to wait for a minute or two such that we would get back to the Azure OpenAI studio, and we will create all these steps step by step, and we would be understanding all those in a minute or two. So we need Power Platform's custom connectors as well for connecting the uh, Azure OpenAI along with the Power Platform. Like custom connectors are something like which are used under the premium version of Power Apps or Power Automate. And what does this custom connectors do is like it adds services that are currently not supported. Like we saw something called as connectors earlier, right? So there may be few chances that the services which are not available under the connectors. To make use of that, Power Platform custom connectors came in, and from there we can go ahead and connect it with the help of the custom connectors. Or when we want to expand the connectors which are that are there currently, and when we want to have a trigger or action to it, then we would be going and using that still. And custom connectors is like very simple, and you don't have to have a lot of coding and knowledge with it, and it's so simple as well. And that can be built within an wizard, or it can be done with the help of the postman collection, or that can be integrated with any IDEs which are there, and it's been like it can be shared, packaged, and certified via the GitHub. Like the when you have the like premium version of Power Platform, then you would be having the custom connectors, and from there you can go ahead and use the custom connectors over there. So this is all the dry part which I wanted to cover as part of covering the Azure OpenAI along with the Power Platform, wherein we would be now seeing on how do we connect the Power Automate along with the Azure OpenAI service. So, for which, what we have to do is like we have to log into portal.azure.com. And once we had logged in, we would have to, like what we had saw earlier, we have to raise for a request to the Azure OpenAI. And once that's been done, then when you go inside the service, then you would find a way to create the Azure OpenAI service being available here. So when you click on create, it would be giving you an option to create the resource group and all other things over there, like the region, pricing tier, and all other things which are needed for you to be created. So when you had given all those things, then it would be kind of like resource group is like for naming it together, right? So you would be giving it, and pricing tier is something that is there as a standard and free for now. And since I had used free, right now it is not allowing me to create a standard again. So it would be giving you up with the pricing tier and everything, wherein you have to go ahead and create it. So once we are done with all those things, like the creation part, and when you get back to the Azure OpenAI service again, then your Azure service with the name that whatever you had given will be created on. So I had given a name, something called as cognitive search CRB over there. So it has created a service with the help of cognitive search CRB, and it had been visible over there. So once you get back to the cognitive search CRB over there with the help of the service that what you had created on, you have different kind of things which are available over there, like it will be of overview and then tags, and there are lot of things over there, and endpoints, manage keys, all those things also will be available over there. Like in keys and endpoints are the ones which are there for managing your keys and endpoint. So this is something very important that what we would be using on to get it connected with the other Azure resources which are there. Like when you want to connect it with the Power Platform as well, then you would be going and using the same part. So once your resource is now created, you now navigate to the Azure OpenAI Studio. So this is the Azure OpenAI Studio, and let it open. So you have now navigated to the Azure OpenAI Studio. There are different kind of things which are available here. Like the Azure OpenAI Home is something that what the region is all about. Like it would be having a definition of it, and chat is something that what what does your what does your regular kind of chatbot or virtual assistant do. Like you would be having a chatbot kind of feel when you are trying to get the response from it. So this would be the prompt window, and whenever you given the response, like the input over here, then you would be getting the response like this. So this is about the chat playground which are there. Like chat playground is something that is available for more than 3.5 versions of GPT. And if it's a completion, like when we want to have a model which is less than 3.5, then we would come to completions playground, and from the completions playground, it's like uh, wherein we would be typing in the questions over there, and it would be returning you back with the result at the same page. Yeah, this is about the completions. And DALI is like when you want to create the deployment, like when you want a picture to be generated when with the help of the prompt, then you would go with the DALI playground over there. Assistants is like the audio assistants which are there. So you would be coming into this part over there. And deployments is something which is the next important one which is needed. Like you would be clicking on with the whenever you come inside the Azure OpenAI Studio, it's that you have to have an at least one deployment model. Like you have to select in the model, deployment name, deployment version, and all other things. And once that's done, then your model will be ready, and you can go ahead and choose that particular thing. Like I had created two different models over here, and there can be n number of models as well, like based on your token limit, and you can go ahead and use that. So this would be the place where you would be creating the deployments, and once that's done, you would go ahead and choose for the models which are needed. Like when you go inside the models, you can see the models which are there. Like there would be n number of models which are there, DALI E3, and then GPT 3.5. And when you click on it, then it gives an option of deploy or create a custom model. Creating a custom model is something like wherein you would be giving in a data of your own type. Like the creating your own knowledge base is something that what we can put on, and with that we can create our own model, customized model over there. So it's something that what we would be putting it on. And there are n number of models which are available. Like it would be having the various models which are there, and it would be available for all of us. Like we can go ahead and choose that. And it's like data files. Data files is something like when you want to upload a new data set, like for your own testing, say in case for fine tuning the model which is there, or to build in with your own data, then you would be coming here and uploading a data set, and it would get trained based on your own data set, and you can deploy it from here. So quota is something where you would be having the specification on the licensing part. So this is where you would be having the check on what kind of model, and how does it consume on, and what would be your limit for it to get used on. So this is where you would be giving a limit, like 50% would be the date that what would be the percentage that what you give on, and you would be having in an percentage of whatever the complexity that what you can use your model on. And then what does your token, like it would be there for all the models which are there. And if at all your model hits up 100 percentage for that particular region, you would not be able to use your model, is something that what we have to remember on. You can switch in the model, or you can switch in the region, whichever it is there. But for that particular ID, for that particular region, and for that particular model, it's completed, is what the meaning is. And you would not be able to use that particular model. So this is all about the Azure OpenAI that what we had created on. Say in case we have created an model as in here, like a model which has been created here, and I am going back to the chat which is there over here. Like I am now going into the deployment. Like there are configuration window which is available here, and from there you can select the models whichever you need. Like since I just have only one model which has been created for the chat, it is showing up only one model over there. So you can select that model over here and proceed with the input and output over there. Or if you want your parameters to be increased, and these parameters play a major role in your inputs. Say in case temperature is one such important parameter which is needed, like what does this temperature do is like it varies from 0 to 1. If it's 0, then it would be like the exact value on whatever the data that what you had trained on. Like if it knows alone, it would be giving back the result. And if it's kind of 1, then it would be acting in a smarter way and it would be giving you back with the content of whatever it knows. Like along with it, it would be adding up the intelligence of its own and would be giving you with the response from it. So this is the temperature, and all others would be playing a major role. So now getting back to deployment, you have now selected with the deployment, right? So once you are done with it, you would be uh, typing in here and you would be checking for the code as well. The important point that what we need is like we would click on the code which is needed, like endpoint, API key, all those things would be visible over there. So you would now go back to the like if you want to use it inside the Python or JSON, C sharp or curl, anything of that sort, then ready-made code would be available for you. Like you can go ahead and use that. So all the methods and everything would have been already been done along with your data of API key and the endpoint as well. So it would be ready to use, and you can go ahead and use that, out of which we need only one point which is there, like the endpoint along with the key of it. So we would copy that and we would now go back to the Power Automate. So the part which needs to be done along with the Azure OpenAI is now almost over. So you have now copied the endpoint after creating it, right? So you had created it, and now getting back to the Power Automate, what it does is like, let me get back, create a new one as a whole. Yeah, I would be using the same thing, like when an email arrives. When an email arrives from my manager, it would be taking back with the next set of action as something that what I had given on. So inside the Power Automate, you would be building up the automations with the help of either Copilot, or you can go ahead and develop it. So you would be developing the automations here, or as in whatever it is needed for the action. And once that's done, what you would do is like you would click on add an action and search for HTTP. And when you search for HTTP, you would get more kind of responses which are there. And one such which is being used is like HTTP in app. So you would be going and clicking on with that HTTP, and you can go ahead and rename it as well. And here is where you should give your URL. Wherein the URL, how it should be is like you should be taking this. One second. Yeah. Um, you can go ahead and get the URI from here as such. How do we get is that? Okay. How do we get the URL as a whole is that we would have to take this cognitive search dot whatever the name that what you are looking for, right? So you would have to take this. Along with that, you would have to combine it with your environment, and then you should be placing it here. So once you had pasted it over there, like the data that what you need should be pasted it over here. And once you had pasted it over here, then it would be asking it for a method. So method should be of either if you want it to be like get or post, then you would be selecting it based on that. And post that, what we would be doing is like we would be giving on with the headers is where we would be clicking on with the key, like this would be the key, right? So you would be copying this and you would be pasting it over there. And when you what header does it give is like API key is something that what you would be giving on over here, and you have to click on with the value which is needed. So once that's all done, you would have to enter the body as well, and then it would be done as a whole. So your model which you had created in under the Azure OpenAI Studio is now accessible under the HTTP. Like with the help of the HTTP, it would be made use, and you can get it connected from that as well. So you would be getting it connected, and from there you can proceed on with the actions which are there. This is one such way that what you can do for getting your Azure OpenAI being connected. And for the second step, that what we need to be connected is like if at all it does not work, then what we can do is like we have a premium connector which is there, like the Azure. Yeah, inside the Azure AI builder, now that we have different kind of models which are available, like the model of predict is something that what we can give on, and it would be asking us to add in a new connection. And once you had given that new connection, then it would be giving you back with the response, and it would be giving you with the data that what you have. Like a builder is something that what the file or the suggestion would be having on, and from which we can go ahead and consume it as well. But what happens here is that we can connect it whenever we need. Like I can put in another example as well. Like AI builder is something which is needed, and when you want to get a text using a prompt, then you would click on here, and like the the problem which occurs here is like I have two different things, and when we sign on, then it would be asking you for all the authentications, and when your authentications are clear, then it would be allowing you to have the check being done, and it would be creating a connection for yourself, and would be giving you back with the results of it. So this is how we can get it connected with the Azure OpenAI. Like we would be creating it under the view code of it here, and you can choose the various ways from which we can get the Azure OpenAI as well. So this is where you can get the URI, right? So you can get the URI from here, and then you can get the key from there. So all the things which are needed would be given you with the response of it, and from there we can go ahead and use it inside any connectors which are available for the Azure OpenAI. So I guess I'm almost on time. So let me stop to any questions which are there at this moment. Okay. If you have any questions, post the session as well regarding the Azure or Azure AI or Power Apps or Power Automate. I would be happy to help you with connecting with it or with any kind of data that whatever we need, and I can help you with that. If at all, no questions. Sorry.
Thank you, Sierra. Thank you for your presentation. It's very nice. I very like it, especially a playground, the DAL-E. It's very interesting for me, actually. And I think it's very nice presentation about the combination of Azure AI services with the Power Platform.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Thank you, guys. I think there is no question, but if you have a question, you can directly connect to CR from LinkedIn or other media. And actually, after that session, we will update the record of this live on our YouTube channel, and we post off the link on LinkedIn or our Microsoft Learning Room. Actually, thank you guys. Thank you, Sierra, again for your presentation.
Thank you, Mosan. Yeah,
Bye
thank you
bye.
all. Bye bye.